Hello, welcome back. So today I went to the park with my little dog and my husband, and there were like 3 different instances where I had flashbacks or was deep in thought about a horrible memory. And I was thinking about this, and when it happens, I just kind of like space out. If I'm like driving or something that requires like my full concentration, I just usually like immediately like stop breathing, and then I just like have to take a deep breath and like refocus on what I'm doing. And but it's really hard in with my husband and I, because I'll zone out like this or have a horrible memory or a flashback or whatever, and he's trying to talk to me and I don't hear him at all. And then he just starts yelling at me because he's like, "Hey, I'm talking to you." And I'm just like, "I'm sorry." Or there's several times in a conversation where I have to be like, "I'm sorry, I didn't hear a word you said. I was somewhere else." And I know this happens to everyone, and I'm sure it happens often to a lot of people, but it happens like constantly with me now, and way more than it used to. I've always been someone that kind of like, when I was real young, like zone off. I had a lot of trauma in my childhood. My parents were constantly fighting, and my dad would lose his temper to the point where he would break things, or peel out of the driveway and disappear for a few hours and then come back. Just really, really horrible fights. And so there were times, at school or whatever, where I would like zone out. It actually happened like in the middle of a volleyball game during recess one time. I was like, I don't know, probably 10. And the ball came over the net, and I was just kind of spaced out, staring off into space, and it bounced off my head. So like that type of stuff. And it makes it really hard to like concentrate sometimes, and I forget a lot of things that I didn't before. And the way, I guess, that I'm trying to deal with it right now is I'm like, last year I started doing a lot of yoga, and that really helped me get centered and focused and really like start to search for something that would help me live in the moment. And so probably like 6 months ago, I found this guy through a friend of mine called Michael Singer, and he has these videos, and he wrote this book called The Untethered Soul. And I haven't actually read the book yet, but I've listened to several of his YouTube videos, and he just kind of talks about living in the present moment. So that really like struck a chord with me. So I've like really tried to focus on that, like living in the moment and like looking around. And I've realized in that process that when I was like full-blown manic psychotic, like everything, that was how I lived in the moment. And it was because my mind was moving so fast, I really never had time to think about anything. And I remember being delusional, but I remember seeing things way more beautiful than they actually were. Like not necessarily than they were, but admiring like really stupid things. Like, oh God, my poor dog. I think he might be dying. I'm so worried about him. Yeah, anyway, I don't know. I just kind of rambled. Should we resume tomorrow? Yeah, my poor dog. Anyways, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Emergency. Bye.